up, Sam?
Hey, Connor, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Happy New Year.
Have you continued saying it to your colleagues and coworkers?
I haven't said it since. Yeah, no, I'm totally punking out. I was talking to one of my coworkers on the phone today, and I hung up and was like, oh, I should have said Happy New Year to him. But
I actually said it either today or yesterday to somebody, one of the faculty people. I was immediately embarrassed.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's too late. I think I've already played my cards, but I'll just do it sometime to be a real
real jabroni.
Yeah, a real guy. You know.
Okay, we'll hold you to it. You got to do it for real this time.
No.
Okay, all right. Okay, fine.
But man, we are wrapping up. We are quickly approaching the end. The end is near, my dude. Football season is very close to the end here with only 3 games left.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. It's weird to. I do this thing at the beginning of the season, at the beginning of fantasy season, where I've done it the last couple seasons, where I take a picture of what my fantasy lineup looks like, because I know it's not going to look like that at the end of the year. So I take a picture, and I just I have it there for when the fantasy season ends and when the regular season ends. I can look back and it's this is who was this team was supposed to be good. So I just rattle off some names here. In my very first starting lineup that I had Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, LaShawn McCoy, T.Y. Hilton, Allen Robinson, George Kittle, Emmanuel Sanders, Cardinals defense and special teams, and Steven Gostkowski.
Well, all things considered, that's not a terrible lineup. Cardinals, yeah, whoops.
Yeah.
And then, Emmanuel Sanders got hurt way down the road.
But was a stud for most of the season.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so, it was a pretty decent blend of, just total whiffs on, LaShawn McCoy, and obviously Le'Veon Bell literally didn't play a down this year, so.
Did you say David Johnson?
No, I didn't have him. I had him the year before, though, which was great. That's the beauty of what's happening right now. The last 2 seasons, the first person that I drafted, literally didn't play. So next year, I got to make sure I draft some dude who's probably going to tear his Achilles tendon or something. Mm-hmm. It's meant to be.
Oh, I just opened my fantasy app here. I was going to try and look and see if I could see who my lineup was week 1. But I opened it, and what do I see? But at the top here, we can play the Bachelor Fantasy League.
Wow! How do you even what?
I don't know. You must draft the bachelors or the girls that are trying to woo the said bachelor. Yeah, I don't want to do that.
No, that sounds.
Oh wait, football.
You might not be able to access the league anymore. Maybe not.
I have access to the league here. I just got to go to scores, and I got to go back to week 1. All right, so my lineup, which is I won. I had Alex Smith, Kenyon Drake, Tariq Cohen, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas, Jimmy Graham, Robert Woods, Packers defense, and Adam Vinatieri.
You're pretty solid.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good.
Alex Smith is kind of funny, but Michael Thomas had 30. Man, he had a big game there in that week 1 loss to the Buccaneers, which is funny. But yeah, so
pretty stacked though, pretty good. Especially with Robert Woods there.
Woodsy.
Severely underrated. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, football season's wrapping up and it's kind of crazy, but it is fun to look back at the beginning of the season when things were just starting to develop and look at all the things that did develop over the course of the season and to see where teams went and where some teams rose above and others fell below. It's pretty cool to look back. So now we only have 3 games left. couple of championships, and then the big kahuna at the end. So,
Oh, yeah.
So without further ado, how about we talk about some of these games that happened this past weekend, though?
Let's do it. Divisional weekend recap.
So we got the first game here, the Colts versus the Chiefs. This is probably, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if this was the most disappointing game or if the Chargers-Patriots game was the most disappointing game for me.
Chargers-Patriots.
Yeah, that one was pretty disappointing. So this one, I mean, I thought the Chiefs were going to win. I didn't think they were going to win this by maybe not by this much. That's not the right term I want to use, but they were
that convincingly.
Yeah, convincingly. There was never really it wasn't a close game at any point. So. Yep, so the Colts were defeated by the Chiefs 31-13. So going into this game, the Chiefs went up very quickly, 17-0, before the Colts even got a first down, I think.
Yeah.
Which was it was almost unbearable to watch the beginning of that game, to watch the Colts stall out on 4 consecutive 3-and-outs.
Yeah, and the thing that came up in the broadcast was like, all of a sudden, the Chiefs are playing good defense now. Like, whoa, hold on. That's a crazy knee-jerk reaction to all of a sudden think that the Chiefs are going to be good at defense. They're still not, but they did generate a decent pass rush, and I don't know. Made the Colts look bad, so maybe they are good. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think that there are people like Dee Ford and Chris Jones and Justin Houston. Like, those are all good players. Like, I don't think the problem with the Chiefs' defense was really their pass rush, and their pass rush for some reason, were able to notch a significant impact against the Colts, despite the Colts having one of the best offensive lines in football. They just for some reason, they struggled a lot against the Chiefs. Surprisingly, though, I think more surprisingly than that, do you want to guess who is covering T.Y. Hilton?
I remember him saying it in the game, and I don't remember who it is.
It was Charvarius Ward.
Okay.
Who's that? Who's that guy? Who's that?
Well, if we say Ward, maybe people think he's Denzel Ward.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he'll think he's Denzel Ward or somebody.
For some reason, that's not a name that I feel like I've ever heard, before that game. I knew Kendall Fuller played in the secondary. I knew that Orlando Scandrick was in the secondary. And I was like, I don't know, they're dudes for sure.
That's like in the Eagles Saints game, Cravon LeBlanc.
Oh my God, we're gonna get to that later. But that whole squad,
who the hell is that?
we've got the Madden creative player. Hawkins, put you out there. You're definitely a guy. That's definitely a last name. Yeah, Cravon LeBlanc. These dudes, we'll get to that later, but that was, we'll talk about that later. So anyway, I watched some analysis of the game, and you don't really need to, but the Colts defense as a whole just didn't seem like they prepared very well for this Chiefs offense. An offense that's been as potent and as unpredictable as the Chiefs have been this year. They looked like total deer in the headlights. I attached a clip here from PFF, an article there. And you can watch the linebackers at the second level. The Chiefs are motioning people in the backfield. Tyreek Hill's going back and forth, and all 3 of the linebackers just look puzzled and moving around. And what ends up happening in this clip is the Chiefs just basically run a post route with Travis Kelce and cut him up the middle, and it's kind of what they did all day. Is just run these routes with Travis Kelce and force these linebackers back into coverage, which then allowed these massive holes for Damian Williams to run through, because these linebackers had to make a decision on whether or not to try to cover the middle of the field and prevent Travis Kelce from getting a big gain, or sell out to stop Damian Williams, who's proving to be a much more effective running back than Spencer Ware was in the absence of Kareem Hunt. So small positive there for the Chiefs, I guess, having this guy who's their third string back, who's kind of proving that he's more than capable of being a starter, I guess, on this team. Yeah, and I mean, the last point that I had was that Andrew Luck just kind of struggled as a passer. He's a little less accurate than usual. Like I said before, this Charvarius Ward kind of locked down T.Y. Hilton for a good portion of the day. I think he only allowed him like 60-some yards on the day on a handful of receptions.
And to be fair, though, that T.Y. Hilton was on a bum ankle.
Yeah.
So that probably had to play a part with it, or had an effect on his game that day. But I don't know. That's pretty respectable job defending.
Yeah, no doubt. And it certainly helped them that they kind of knew what was happening after they went up 17-0, and unfortunately the Colts had to abandon the run game pretty early on. So with that being considered, I mean, it's tough when you can't really afford to go to somebody like Marlon Mack when you're still in the early stages of the game, because you need points and you need to move down the field, and your offense is sort of stalling. So all things considered, it started ugly and never really improved at any point in the game, which was kind of unfortunate. It was impressive to see Frank Reich take the Colts as far as they did this year. I think that they'll be an interesting team to watch if they do end up cashing in on one of these top running back free agents that are in the market for 2019.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That's all I got for them. Do you have anything to add to this game?
Chiefs look good. Chiefs are fun to watch. So,
no doubt about that.
And this is kind of, with all the 1s and 2s winning this weekend, no matter what happens here in the conference championships, we're gonna get a good Super Bowl matchup, I think, no matter what. Any of the possible combinations of games. Personally, I want to see Rams Chiefs 2. I would like some more of that, please, from that Monday night game earlier in the season. But I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I don't know. I totally agree that I think that whoever ends up in the final matchup is going to be an exciting team to watch.
Yeah. Unlike last year, where you had the doomsday scenario that almost came true, where you had Nick Foles versus Blake Bortles in the Super Bowl. Almost happened.
Oh, my God. Would have been wild, though.
Yeah, it would have been cool. I mean, we got a really good. It wasn't last year on paper going into that game. I wasn't expecting a real, all-time classic game. But man, that was an awesome.
It was a good one.
So. Oh yeah, it was a real good one. I liked it.
No doubt.
All right, next up we got Rams and Cowboys. And that was another game that was not close. The score was closer than it actually was.
Yeah. It was, yeah. The game was closer than the Chiefs-Colts game, but it wasn't. Yeah, like Sam said, the score sort of suggests that there was this this back and forth, but there really wasn't. Yeah, the Rams cleaned up the Cowboys pretty good, exposed that defense that was sort of the signature part of this Cowboys team thus far, and kind of what I think was carrying them this far just as a whole. I mean, the biggest takeaway, I guess, obviously, was that the Rams' offensive line just straight up, I don't know, suplexed the defensive line for the Cowboys, and took away some of their most powerful elements of that defense, which include people like Jalen Smith, Leighton Vander Esch, and Sean Lee. They completely removed them from the equation because they were able to move up to that second level so easily, and that allowed for nearly 300 yards on the day between C.J. Anderson and Todd Gurley. So one of the biggest surprises, I guess, for the night was watching C.J. Anderson, 5'8" C.J. Anderson, run all over this Cowboys defense.
And it didn't matter. I think I texted this to you, during that game. It didn't matter who was toting the rock for the Rams. Anybody could have ran through those holes and had a big night. That was just as impressive as a running game as you've seen in the NFL this year, let alone in the playoffs against a very good Dallas defense.
Yeah, it was pretty surprising. Everybody was well aware that the Rams had a pretty electric offense, but I think you made a point to say it on last week's episode that their offense towards the end of the season sort of started to slow down. Sort of looked like they lost a step here and there. Little miscommunications happening. Jared Goff not making the throws that he usually did. Todd Gurley coming off of a series of injuries. All these things together, some people thought that maybe the Cowboys with their stalwart defense were going to be the Rams' undoing, but it certainly didn't come out that way.
Running the ball, that'll fix a lot of problems, and I think that whole offense is predicated on running and then having a really dynamic play action game that's set up because of it, and that's pretty much what you saw. Because when I think Rams offense, I think Jared Goff play action and throwing the deep over the middle to Robert Woods, and
yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's what we saw that, and yeah, it's fun. It's a fun game to watch if you're a Rams fan, obviously.
No doubt. I mean, I don't know how the Cowboys have an excellent secondary and a great defense, but it's gotta be tough to defend against a tandem of Brandon Cooks and Robert Woods when you're getting the ball run down your throat by a tandem of C.J. Anderson and Todd Gurley. What do you do? How do you even adjust for that? I don't know. A lot of people had a lot of complaints for the Cowboys, but I think it's sort of a tall order to adjust to an offense that can be as dynamic with all the weapons that they have, with an offensive line to boot as well.
Mm-hmm. And especially as we're ripping, I mean, to give a little credit to the Cowboys, the only reason they were in that game at all at the end there is because on those first couple of drives, they held the Rams to field goals, kept them out of the end zones. I mean, the defense didn't totally just quit and just didn't steamroll top to bottom. I mean, but they were giving up a ton of yards, but they did hold in the red zone early, which was the only thing that kept them in that game at all.
Yeah, and so there was that pass interference call, and which I guess that's the second half of this equation. We're sort of talking about the Cowboys' defense, but we haven't talked about their offense at all. And I mean, I guess that's because this whole season, really, it's sort of been this way, where the Cowboys' offense, they do just enough where they're not. You wouldn't characterize them necessarily as being bad, but you wouldn't
good.
call them. Yeah, you wouldn't say that they're especially effective either. And that was kind of just what happened on the day as a whole, where they made some plays here and there, and Zeke ran for a first down or two.
Toss it over to Amari Cooper. Throw it to him every once in a while.
Yeah,
keep it moving.
And I made a point to note this, but did you see at the end of the game, Amari Cooper and Marcus Peters sort of got into it?
Oh yeah, they almost tried fighting each other at the post game handshake.
Yeah, man, Marcus Peters talks a ton of shit, and he's arguably the worst DB on that team.
Man, and the whole thing that's coming back up is when he's like, "Oh, hope Sean Payton keeps talking that shit," or whatever quote he had. All pissed at Sean Payton, who are playing again this week, and that's getting brought back up. But good for him, man. More of that, please.
Yeah, like,
I don't mind.
dude, look out though, because Sean Payton's gonna come in with 250K in singles and one Michael Thomas to serve you right up.
Yeah, you're gonna be dealing with who's the guy that plays punt protector and wide receiver and running back?
Taysom Hill.
Yeah, he's gonna come at you with Taysom Hill. He's gonna dunk on you.
Oh my god. I want to see Taysom Hill throw a block on Marcus Peters, man, and just.
Oh my gosh. Man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll save Taysom Hill talk for later. But
yeah, he's not in this game, but yeah, I don't know. That's all I pretty much have for this game. The Cowboys' offense. I mean, they did exactly what I think that they were going to do. You know, putting up 22 points. It's like it against a Rams team that I don't know is pretty dynamic. The Rams defense too shouldn't be overlooked. Like, they have people on that team, man. Like, LaMarcus Joyner, Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters,
Aaron Donald, Ndamukong Suh.
Exactly, Dante Fowler from the Jags, former first-round pick. Like, they have a squad, and so putting up 22 points on those guys, I mean, I don't think it should just be understated, but at the same time, it's I don't know.
It's just enough to be, I don't know.
Like you said at the beginning of the game, like the whole beginning of the segment was that the score, the 30-22, it's deceptively close. It was not that close.
Yeah, and I don't remember where I heard this or what the context was, but I heard somebody somewhere say that, like, your goal as an offense in the NFL would be to score 21 points. If you score 21, that's like that's like the Joe Flacco line where that's just enough to maybe win or maybe lose. If you score more, if you score like 28, you should win. Or if your defense holds your opponent under 21, you should expect to win. So they're right at that middle point there with 22 points. Where and the Rams offense, basically, they met their quota, so to speak, if you want to think about it that way. Which I always thought that was an interesting way to think about it, where if you can just hold them to under 20 and score a little more than 20, obviously you're going to win. But, Cowboys offense, they did just enough to be competitive.
Right, just enough to get Dak Prescott that young extension.
Just enough for Jason Garrett to be coach for life.
Oh my god, dude. Kinda, actually. It's
Didn't he got a 5-year extension, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know if it was 5 years. Don't quote me on that.
I thought
he definitely got an extension.
I don't know if that's true.
He definitely got an extension. You're correct in saying that.
Okay.
And
well.
Yeah, great.
I mean, what's the alternative? You fire him after that?
Right. I mean,
no.
I don't know. Like, people have their complaints about the clapper, but it's you can't. Takes you to the divisional round of playoffs, and not you don't get blown out by the Rams, who could win the Super Bowl. I don't know. You don't fire him, I guess. I don't necessarily know if you keep who's their offensive coordinator, Schottenheimer? No, that's the Seahawks.
The Seahawks.
It's
they have Scott Linehan.
Linehan. They said that they're keeping him.
Got to get you a McVay boy.
That's right.
McVay Shanahan guy.
Got to get somebody who's partied with
all
Sean.
the rage.
All right, moving on. Next game, disappointment of the weekend. Patriots versus Chargers.
This is the one game I actually turned off in the second half.
I didn't even watch this game. Well, actually, no. I turned it on in the fourth quarter. I was studying, and I actually forgot that it was on. And so I was studying, and I checked my phone, and I was like, oh, the game's on. And I checked my phone, and I don't even remember what the score was, but it was already out of hand, and it was the second quarter, and it was Jesus Christ. So when
actually, let me recant. I have to rephrase. I didn't turn off the game, but I tuned it out. Instead I downloaded Yu-Gi-Oh on my phone and started playing that.
It's time to duel.
Yeah, so sick humble brag by me. But
dude, did you get Blue Eyes White Dragon?
Hell yeah, man! I'm playing a Seto Kaido.
Hell yeah, dude!
I got 2 of the Egyptian God cards already.
Dude, that's.
I was gonna send you this at like, hey, you should download this so we can duel each other. But like, I don't know how to like do player versus player. Yeah,
can you do player?
I think
versus
there's a way.
Player?
I think so,
dude. I'll download it. I'll play Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's like it's like super legit.
It's super.
Graphics are like. It's like the graphics are like really good.
I'll download it. And
there's all these 3D animations and yeah, man. Well, I very quickly realized once I started playing, like, I actually don't know how to play this game. I don't know the rules of this.
Dude, okay, that's the biggest thing is that I don't think I ever learned the correct way how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! It was always just like, dude, look at these boss-ass cards and...
bro, let me just summon the Dark Magician right quick.
Well, place this card face down in defense mode.
In defense, yeah, right. I like, I've only ever played the game once, like, with actual cards, like... I was in like high school in the cafeteria, and for whatever reason, some of my friends were playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm like, "Yo, can I let me?" Oh. It's like, Sam, you want to play? I'm like, "Oh, sure. Can I use your cards?" Like, yeah. So I distinctly remember having like, it's like the first turn, and I'm like, "Oh, I got the Red Eyes Black Dragon." Like, hell yeah! I play this card, and they're like, "Yeah, you can't do that. It's got 10 stars or whatever, so you gotta like do some other bullshit to get it." I'm like, "Oh." All right, well, why?
Well, I activate this trap card.
Yeah. Ugh. That's the worst thing though is like when you're looking at these cards, I'm like, all right. They only use like a couple cards on the TV show that I can remember, and it's like there's all these other cards, and I was like, oh, this is a lot of reading. Okay, so this does what? So this goes to an Earth monster, and if thing X, Y, and Z happen, then this happens. Oh, it's like fucking computer lingo. If then all these if then statements. So, anyways, yeah, the Patriots won big.
Yeah.
Boy, do we need to talk about it?
Not really. There's just a couple of takeaways. Some stuff that, I mean, even I was able to see at the end of the game here. Stuff that maybe was more apparent at the end of the game than it was at the beginning of the game. I watched Phillip Rivers just literally probably take years off of his life getting hit by Trey Flowers and company, Kyle Van Noy. Yeah. The O-line for the Chargers was absolutely atrocious. They let a ton of pressure get to Phillip Rivers, and watching Phillip Rivers lead the final drives at the end of the game was just painful because he was literally bent over, like in pain, and still leading drives for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. The Chargers defense failed to adjust to anything the Patriots did. They allowed Julian Edelman to just run train on them. They allowed Sony Michel to run train on them. I think Tom Brady had like 2 incompletions that were the result of like pass breakups, which is just not a great thing to have happen when you have a secondary that's as good as LA has. People that stood out last week, Melvin Ingram, Joey Bosa, they didn't generate much pressure after having a pretty stellar game against the Ravens. Stat that I thought was interesting, Patriots didn't give up a single sack in pass protection. So props to the Patriots offensive line for keeping Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa at bay.
And part of that here, and I think you're getting to this, is with James White having 15 receptions. It's tough to generate a pass rush when the ball's coming out real quick. When everyone's trying to knock on Tom Brady, always just checking it down. Well, whatever, works. Who cares? But yeah, that's a really easy way to neutralize a good pass rush is just check it down to the running back, especially when you're going to sit back and play zone defense. Like the Chargers did. And a lot of people were giving the Chargers crap, like, well, they're just sitting back and playing zone. They're not doing anything. Tom Brady's just going to pick it apart. And, well, I don't know. What do you want? That's what they've done all year. They're playing to their strength. They're not a team that's going to match up well. playing man-to-man the whole time. So, I don't know. You got to roll with what you got, right?
Well, exactly. I totally see what you're saying. People were they were criticizing Gus Bradley and Anthony Lynn a ton for not trying to adjust their defense more effectively. They did move to man at one point, and I think they gave up a touchdown. So I don't. It's like, yeah, I don't. You're right. They don't match up very well because they have some studs. It's Julian Edelman's good. Philip Dorsett is a guy for sure. Chris Hogan is great at lacrosse. It's, I don't know, like
Gronk's out there with his golf bag on his arm.
Yeah, he's running routes to the retirement home. Yeah, I don't know. You're right. They don't match up very well on man, and the Patriots knew that, so they forced them to play their own game, and that's what happened. They got blown out. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing else to really talk about there. A little bit more of an interesting game though. We got Saints-Eagles.
This is the best game of the weekend.
And I'm glad that it was, because it was the last one, and I was pretty footballed out by the time we got here. And
yeah,
it was great to watch it because the Eagles went up real early, 14-0. It was like, holy shit, Nick Foles, and
Nick Chungus.
Yeah, and I don't know. And after that happened, it seemed like the Saints figured things out, and Nick Foles sort of regressed back to his median regular season Nick Foles, and yeah, I don't. They fell. They didn't score any more points after that. So,
yep, man, that was the most boss drive of the whole season. That second half drive where the Saints had the ball for 15, an entire quarter almost, was probably one of the more impressive drives ever.
That was wild, man. They would make an extraordinary play and then holding. Okay.
Oh, there'd be a Taysom Hill play that would be called in, and there'd be holding on it, and then on 3rd and long they just throw it to the sticks to Michael Thomas, and they do it again.
And oh my God, yeah, 11 and a half minutes. Nearly took up the entire third quarter. Yeah, it was great watching. I think Taysom Hill, he did something. I don't remember what he did. He ran or tried to get a first down, and then it was called back. The fake punt, that was it. Fake punt.
Yeah, that. Well, he also threw the touchdown to Alvin.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, he followed up that with another one, and then that was called back. And it was, oh my God. This is...
Can't win.
This is unbelievable. Yeah, it was, watching Michael Thomas. So this is, I guess, where we can sort of get into this. The Eagles secondary struggled a lot, especially towards the end of the game, to keep Michael Thomas from finding the sticks and those soft spots in the zone coverage. So this is something that it definitely happened, and I think it's fair to say that they struggled. But their personnel that they were working with, they were working with a bunch of just dudes. These people that were playing in the secondary.
Raven LeBlanc.
I'm struggling with remembering what his first name was, but Hawkins, who covered Michael Thomas for part of the game, I don't think all of the game. He was literally
LaTroy Hawkins.
Okay, he was literally
No, that's sorry. That's definitely not his name. LaTroy Hawkins was a pitcher for the Brewers.
Great. Let's see.
Malcolm Jenkins.
No, not Malcolm
that's
Jenkins.
A guy.
Josh Hawkins. Oh, we know that guy, don't we?
Yeah, he's old Packers guy.
Oh, Josh Hawkins. Yeah, so, yikes.
Golly. Look.
Yikes. Sorry that our bum-ass cornerback ended up on your divisional playoff team. Yeah, Josh man, I didn't realize it was him. he got signed to their practice squad like a month ago, and then was promoted to the active roster shortly thereafter. So yeah, I have in here in my notes that it gave me some wild flashbacks to when the Packers were in the divisional game and we were tossing up Ladarius Gunter on Julio Jones.
Gunter Island, man.
Yeah, dude.
Miss that guy.
Oh my god. What a legend.
Yeah, this whole I don't like all these like I don't know like good cornerbacks the Packers or not even good but like the decent ones but yeah, that Ladarius Gunter thing, that's a good comparison. I like that.
Yeah, just kind of like, oh man, we're in the divisional playoffs and there's this like stud wide receiver and we're just throwing this guy up on him who
we'll put this guy out there one-on-one on him that runs like a 4.6.
Yeah, and just kind of hope for the best. Like like I don't know, you in this situation I don't really know what you do because, you know, it's everybody's hurt. Nobody's healthy. You know.
Well, you also had like Fletcher Cox and Michael Bennett got hurt, and did Chris Long get hurt at some point?
Yeah, he was in all the time. You got the ghost of Haloti Ngata.
Oh, I always forget he's on that team.
I know. I remember when they were playing, and it's like, oh yeah, Haloti Ngata's a guy. Yeah, so I don't know. It was great to see the Eagles play the way that they did because I think they could have definitely been roasted. They could have been roasted way harder than they ended up being. Like I think it could have been one of these other games that happened, and they weren't. You know, it's like they stuck in it. I mean, I think you said it after the game ended that they were still in it to win it at nearly all points of the game. Like,
oh, and they almost did win it down at the end there.
Yeah, they were driving, man. I didn't realize, I guess I forgot how far that they had driven down the field before that Alshon Jeffrey drop pass interception. But
I mean, they were like on the 25 or like the 30 or something. They were very much in and had plenty of time left.
Yeah, and they were making moves. So yikes. It'd have been cool to see something happen, but it just never quite came together for that offense. They couldn't find Zach Ertz. They couldn't find Alshon Jeffrey. Marshawn Lattimore was just having a game and a half. They couldn't keep up. So it's unfortunate, and it was kind of sad to watch the Eagles lose the way they did, but to be fair, I mean, I think nobody expected them to go as far as they did, especially when the Eagles were playing the way that they were playing in the middle of the season.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
and now we can have now that the season's over for the Eagles, we can have a better conversation about the Nick Foles, Carson Wentz dilemma. And I if it was me, I'm keeping Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I think the Eagles literally came out and said that they're sticking with Carson Wentz like today.
That's probably the right decision. And it's similar, I guess, in my mind to the Vikings situation with Case Keenum versus Kirk Cousins, where boy, yeah, you had some really, really nice time. You had some really good times there with Nick Foles, but on career average. I think Carson Wentz is a higher floor, higher ceiling than Nick Foles.
No doubt, I agree. You know who Nick Foles is. For some reason, postseason Nick Foles is Nick Chungus, but it's an anomaly. Like there's a reason why it's a meme and why it's like it is the way that it is because I don't think anybody could have expected him to play the way he was playing. So. No question. You got to go with Carson Wentz. You got to keep the franchise. You got to keep it stable.
Yeah, he's still on a rookie contract, so he's very affordable. He's younger.
Yeah, pretty much checks all the boxes for. Yeah, you go with this guy.
Yeah, I mean the one knock is he's gotten injured the last 2 years. Well, I don't know. Whatever.
Fire the strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah, not to totally discount it, but I'm kind of discounting it.
Yeah. I don't know. You take a. It's less of a gamble to gamble on that, I think, than to gamble on Nick Foles, 30-year-old Nick Foles, who's up until this point was a career backup quarterback. So,
Yes.
yeah. So that was the playoffs for this past weekend. That's what happened.
Cool.
Yeah, interesting. Well, what you got something?
Give me your predictions for this weekend. Who's gonna be in the Super Bowl?
Oh, who's gonna be in the Super Bowl?
Give me Chiefs Rams. I'm sure it'll be Patriots Saints, but whatever.
Yeah, man. I think the man. I don't think I want the Saints to win. I think I want the Rams to win, but something's telling me the Saints are going to come out on top.
Yeah.
So I think maybe Saints. I think the Chiefs will be able to figure out the Patriots. I don't know. Chiefs
Being
are
at home
they're so
definitely helps.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know. It's like, have you watched any Gridiron Heights at all?
No, I haven't watched a lot.
Damn. Well, all right. It's super funny, but like the way that the Chiefs are just like characterized in that series, it's just like this is a perfect like cartoon depiction of what this team is. It's just like this really wild like team that's just kind of like, oh my god, like they're like these guys somehow managed to like put up like 50 points in every single game. Like these guys are capable of just like racking up the score, and they just like look like they're like barely trying. Like it's like, oh, Pat Mahomes, yeah, like a no look pass to Tyreek Hill, who jets up the field at 90 miles per hour. It's just kind. It's like it is literally like a cartoon. Like it's just like it's like Madden. Like this is like, oh yeah, well he's got 99 speed and Pat Mahomes has like 99 accuracy, 99 throwing power. It's like I don't know. So I think that they'll beat the Patriots. I could be wrong. The Patriots, I mean, proved to everybody that was a doubter in this past game that the Patriots are what the Patriots are, the postseason Patriots.
But that's a team that's also undefeated at home and is 3-5 on the road this year. So they have to go on the road to Kansas City. So that helps the Chiefs. I don't know if the weather really helps either of them because I think it's supposed to be really, really cold. We're getting Arctic blasted here in the Midwest.
Ooh. Like the guy that tossed the snowball at with the Colts.
Yeah, that was a good thing watching Andy Reid yell at a fan. Hey, stop throwing snowballs.
Yeah. Stop, please.
Andy Reid in the snow looks very looks right to me.
He looks in his element. I am the walrus.
Yeah, man.
All right, well, moving on.
You heard it here first. Rams and Chiefs Super Bowl.
Yeah, whatever.
Very confident. Absolutely.
Punch it.
Book it.
Kyler Murray declared for the NFL draft.
Yes.
That's some pretty big news.
Yes, man, he's got baseball by the nuts.
It's kind of wild actually to watch this negotiation happen and to watch him leverage these two massive organizations against each other. And I think in a year where the quarterback class is stronger, he maybe wouldn't have quite as much leverage, but because the quarterback class is just one big question mark, like he very well could go in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
So that being the situation, yeah, it's pretty incredible watching him just like parlay millions of dollars out of the Oakland A's because he's like, well, I don't know, I can sign this rookie contract and make tens of millions of dollars, or I could go play in the minor leagues and get shit on. So I'll play football for a couple years instead of joining your fucking team and playing in your A league, your triple A league.
Play your silly game and sleep on a air mattress in Florida.
Yeah, exactly. Be a star for a team. Yeah, so I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It's pretty cool to watch, though. I mean, people like him are certainly, generational talents. Watching people like Bo Jackson, Dion, like these people that manage to play two sports at the same time and be good at them. Watch but for the first time ever, we could see a person get drafted in the first round of both these organizations. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I definitely think that there's a team out there that would pull the trigger on him in the first round if he continues to, go down this path. I think he has Oakland A's gave him like a set number of days that he had after he said he was declaring for the draft. Which, by the way, did you see his tweet about this? About when he declared for the draft?
I did not.
It literally just says, "I have declared for the NFL draft." It was 7 words, and it was like, wow, somebody kept posting the meme of Michael Scott yelling, "I have declared bankruptcy." Kyler, you can't just say it. You have to, you have to, fill out the forms.
And you mentioned this, I think, last week, that what if would the Cardinals draft him number 1 overall? And I kind of scoffed at that, but the more I've heard stuff, I'm like, oh, that actually might be real.
Dude, I wouldn't put it past Cliff, man. I think that there's a lot of doubters out there that really want him to fucking fail because people made a meme out of the Sean McVay whole thing this year. So I don't know. I think that if he takes a good hard look at Josh Rosen and what Josh Rosen has to do. I mean, you don't really have to. You kind of know what you have in Josh Rosen, right? He's like the prototypical tall pocket passer, kind of undisciplined, I guess.
Kind of looks like, oh gosh, who's that guy that started for the? He kind of looks like Mike Glennon a little bit.
Yeah. Not a person that I guess would. That you'd see, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Not Texas Tech air raid offense though.
Not Texas Tech material, which is a really weird, I don't know, insult, but also kind of a compliment. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know what to make of
not
a comment like that.
Not the biggest indictment of you as a football player.
No, it's not like a huge backhanded comment, but it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could see it. You take a shot on this guy who's, very familiar with your background. And, I mean, he would certainly cushion the transition, I think, from Big 12 to NFL, which, the jump that he managed to make, the ladder that he managed to climb oh so quickly. So yeah, I don't know. That'd be hilarious to watch to see him get taken number 1.
But yeah, that's super interesting because if he goes number 1, you assume that Josh Rosen's getting traded, right?
He'd have to be.
You gotta sell on him while his value is as high as it's ever gonna be. Still,
right? And there's got to be a team out there that's looking for young quarterback that they want to develop.
Giants, Jaguars, Bengals, Dolphins. They're on notice.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's going to be something to monitor as the draft moves closer. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, it's cool looking at the draft because it's like, oh man, look at all these players that I did not pay attention to when they played at their respective colleges. Just look at all these dudes.
Feel like Chris Collinsworth. Well, here's a guy.
Yeah, right.
But then I have nothing to follow that up with.
Exactly. I don't know. Draft is always fun, though. It was fun watching it last year with you, or is like watching all these players get taken. Like it's great following the analysis for the draft because like the draft does not turn out the way that everybody's like, oh yeah, this guy is a bona fide first rounder, and it's like, Yeah, I don't know, man. Play, players are gonna get picked. Teams are gonna trade. I don't know how you can say some of that stuff. But anyway, moving on. We aren't quite at draft analysis yet. There's still some regular season left. This is an interesting thing that I found out today. Austin Hooper, tight end for the Atlanta Falcons, was named to the Pro Bowl.
Wow.
I literally said wow when I read that, because Austin Hooper, every single week when I played DFS, was the bargain bin tight end.
Mm-hmm.
So I read that and I was like, yikes. The tight end class was not good this year. It was a lot of people injured, a lot of people hurt. Got Austin Hooper played in the Pro Bowl. Yeah, thought that was kind of funny. And then another article that came out, the Panthers owner suggested in an interview that Cam Newton's injury could possibly sideline him for the 2019 season, and then compared him to Andrew Luck, and then later on criticized the reporters for putting words in his mouth and said that he never said that. So...
Oh. Well, that solves that then.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
His shoulder. So he fixed his shoulder in the last 2 days?
Yeah, I guess.
That's what that means to me.
Maybe, yeah. Tossed on a robot arm to Cam Newton. But it...
So does this mean... So if he's going to be out for the entire 2019 season, possibly, does that mean we get an entire season of Taylor Heineke?
Oh, my God. Yuck.
No, thank you. Yeah, well, that'd be bad if Cam can't play, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, but,
Have Christian McCaffrey run the Wildcat for the entire season.
Seriously, though, just, have him do that. He's good. And then, I don't know. Draft some big-bodied wide receiver in the first round. Draft a quarterback in the first round. Draft Kyler Murray.
Draft somebody that's more than a couple Popeye's biscuits away from being a tight end.
Man, I'm so sad that Kelvin Benjamin was a healthy scratch. I want him to be good for the memes.
He made some plays down the stretch for the Chiefs, which was something, but yeah, I couldn't. I saw Sammy Watkins out there and I was like, oh yeah, that's the guy. And I'm like, oh wait, no, that's not Kelvin Benjamin.
No, that's
Darn
Sammy
it.
Watkins.
Heck. Well, speaking of, well, I guess we're not talking about college football, but to talk college football, how about big news today? Jalen Hurts transferring to Oklahoma.
It is huge news. It's kind of crazy to think about the string of quarterback success that they've had the last few years, going from...
And all of them have, all transfers.
Yeah, actually.
Kyler Murray was at Texas A&M. Baker was at Texas Tech. Now you get the most decorated of all those transfers coming in.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think it definitely keeps Oklahoma up at the top there. It's going to be interesting to see what Jalen Hurts can do in an offense that's a little bit different from Alabama.
Yeah, a little different. They're going to let him throw the ball, I think.
Yeah, I think. Hey, Jalen, dual threat. I think that was the thing, right? Like Jalen Hurts was, when he was splitting time with Tua, that he was like you're the dual threat quarterback. You can run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is true. He can run. He does other things also, though.
It'll be fun to watch him, more fun to watch him when he's in an offense that encourages more throws. Similar to that, Tate Martell announced that he's transferring to Miami.
Yeah, who is that?
Yeah, dude. So he's okay. So he's before he was the heir apparent to Dwayne Haskins at Ohio State.
Oh, okay.
He was. Have you heard of the QB1 documentary that's on like Netflix?
Oh, I think I've scrolled past it on Netflix.
So
yes.
he's one of 3 quarterbacks that are highlighted in that docuseries. It's him, Jake Fromm, and then a guy who's now on the quarterback depth chart for Wake Forest. I didn't recognize his name, but anyway, Jake Fromm and Tate Martell were like 2 big like personalities on the show, and Tate Martell, I guess, was just like an asshole the whole show.
Nice.
Had this weird relationship with his sister, and so it came out that Tate Martell was transferring to Miami because it looked like he kind of lost the starting job at Ohio State.
Yeah, because that Justin, that kid from Georgia, Justin Fields.
Yeah, he announced that he was transferring as well. So the best part, though, were all the memes that came out because it was a screenshot posted of the transfer portal, and it was his name was in there. His full name is Tathan.
Of course it is.
So immediately everybody was like, oh, Tate Martell has announced he's transferring. Here's a screenshot of his name in the transfer portal. And everybody just looked at it, silent for a second, and like, Tathan? Really? Oh, yeah. Tathan, son of Tavid and Tatharin. Like all these, like why did you put a T there? Or somebody else on the internet was, oh yeah, well it's just like how bike is short for Bikel.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know. It's been an interesting start to the offseason for college football. This whole transfer portal thing, man.
Yeah, them loosening up transfer rules definitely makes it more fun, like NFL free agency.
Right.
Kinda. So it makes it more fun when this guy's going here or there or wherever.
Right.
So and while we're on the subject of college football, what's the deal with the White House serving Wendy's or whatever?
McDonald's.
Yeah. That's what a time, huh?
So, yeah, I don't know. There are people that are saying that Clemson like requested McDonald's. I don't know. I have no idea. But it just looked no idea what happened there, but it just looked really funny to see the ornate like White House utensils and like all these different platters just like stacked with McDonald's, like Big Macs and chicken nuggets. Like there was a good meme where it's like a butler like lighting candles on the table with all the McDonald's around him, and it's like, should we put the chicken nugget sauce in the Lincoln, the gravy boat tray thing? Like it's all this ornate stuff that's like,
should we put the Szechuan sauce? Yeah, in the
like all these things are like things that are integral to like the White House when they host events there, and it's just like
different heads of states and ambassadors and whoever.
Yeah, and it's just like stacked with McDonald's, and it's just like what? So
I saw Reggie Bush got all mad about it, which whatever, but
I saw the Migos invited Clemson over to quality control headquarters for a hashtag real feast.
I guess what do they when teams go to the White House like that? What do they normally eat?
I mean, I imagine not McDonald's.
Well,
I understand that the kitchen is closed because of the old shutdown.
So
like,
I mean,
on one hand, it's like, yeah, I get it. You have to sort of come up with something else, but I mean,
you could have came up with something else, right?
I mean, you got to think that if you could buy McDonald's, that you probably could have bought catered food that was maybe a little nicer. Like, if I can buy catered food for, the Industrial and Systems Engineering Department at UW-Madison, you have to think that, the White House can
You could get like Chipotle or something.
I mean, there's like numerous options of like places that you could have gone to, and I don't know. Yeah, it's like, man, how could you not, like, literally ordering this stuff and putting it on the table? It's like, you got to think that a lot of pictures are going to get taken, and you got to think that this looks like a meme. Like,
and I really hope that's what he thought when it's like, I'll do it for the meme. Because, yeah, like you said, I think what you're getting at there with the juxtaposition of the, your McDouble, but on this fine White House china is really, I think it's great.
Yeah, just, it does the trick, but it you could have ordered a much less controversial meal, I think, and
well, and on the other side, he could have ordered a more controversial meal.
Yeah, you're right. What would have been a more controversial meal? Like, would it have been more controversial for him to just not feed the players?
Well, it would have been more controversial if he would have gotten like, "Whoa, hey there, kids! For you down south boys, we're getting chicken and watermelon." that would have been worse. Heard you fellas like the Popeyes biscuits, or that probably would have been worse.
Yeah, you're right. It could have been way more callous.
At least maybe I'm missing this, but there didn't seem to be a racial undertone to this thing.
I don't think so. I mean, it's McDonald's. It's just kind of like garbage for everybody.
It's the melting pot of truly American.
The cornerstone of culture. Yeah, I don't know. I think about. I mean, I was thinking about that, and the immediate aftermath of this whole thing was that, like, there are people that visit the White House and, don't get fed. Like, I don't know. You probably could have just said, yeah, the kitchen's closed. I'm sorry. I can't offer you guys something, but maybe.
But at the same time, well, now, hold on a second. Having a thought here. Did Clemson violate an NCAA rule by feeding their players at all?
Oh.
Maybe the old Trumpster trumped them, or now they're going to get a bunch of recruiting sanctions. They're going to have to self-report themselves.
Man, wouldn't that be funny?
Well, actually, see here, you can't eat. Yeah, I have no idea how NCAA violations and all that stuff works and what the rules are, because on one hand, it's like you can't feed them whatever or anything, but also I've been on trips with NCAA teams, and it's like, well, they get fed. They get like I think they get per diem. We get per diem when we went on those fucking trips.
Yeah. Something happens.
They're not begging for food.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, they're not getting compensated.
No.
For the amount of revenue they're generating. So, whatever,
but something's happening. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, that's that.
Oh, would have been better. One of Trump's best tweets was where he's taking the happy Cinco de Mayo and he's eating the burrito bowl. I love the Mexicans or whatever. He's from a couple years ago. Remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Best burrito bowls are at Trump Tower. If you just had a whole bunch of Trump Tower burrito bowls for them, very clearly just, hey, my company, my brand.
Man, he should have had, What if he had a whole stockpile of Trump steaks?
Hey, just got these out of the freezer. I've been hanging on to these for a while.
I've been waiting for an occasion to break these babies out. These frozen steaks from 10 years ago.
And he's got a chef's hat. He's grilling them himself.
Just inside. How do you like your steaks, boys?
And he's feeding, I don't know, like 100 people, and he's just got one grill.
he's doing one steak at a time.
It's like that episode of the Michael's dinner party in The Office where it's like, oh, dinner will be ready in like 4 hours. So just feel free to hang out.
Everybody get in a line. He makes everybody get in a single file line and wait for their steak to be done. Asks them how he wants the steak to be done, and regardless of what they say, he cooks them well done.
And they all have like and he has like the spatula has like the Trump logo in it, so when it sears the Trump logo into it, the Trump T or whatever. Oh. Man, this presidency could be so much more fun.
So many more memes.
Oh, just wait. If he loses the 2020 election here, and it's like, well, he's on like that awkward time period where he lost the election, but he's still in office for like a couple months. Yeah. Dude. So either 2020 or 2024, whenever it happens, that's the time I'm excited for, when you don't really have to care anymore.
Well, right. I mean, I didn't even think about that. Like those last couple months where like, yeah, you're gone in a couple months.
Yeah, phoning it in.
Yeah, and it's like, this dude already seems like he doesn't give a shit about a lot of things, but now he really...
How much golf is he going to play then?
Or just how many things is he going to just, executive order.
Maybe. Or is it like when after you've been working somewhere for a long time, and when you're retiring, you just cash in all your you saved up like 2 months of sick days? So you can just cash them all at the end, retire 2 months early. He's going to do that. It's like, well, I made it to Christmas. Good enough.
Mike,
next guy will take over.
It's your job until the end of the term.
Watch the boat. You can lock up shop here.
Man, that would be wild. Just quits.
Yeah, right down at the end. Like, good enough.
It's been fun. It's been great.
It's been real, America.
It's been real. It's been fun, but it hasn't been real fun. Goodbye. That'd be wild.
Get my company back.
Yeah.
Oh, executive order Trump Tower or Trump Real Estate, whatever is gives him some stupid like obvious like government contract.
What if he just swapped places with Mike Pence? Yeah, I'll be VP for the last couple months.
You want to switch?
You just want to switch? Yeah. You want to drive the car for a little while? It's a lot of fun driving the Cadillac.
You want to go and debate The Rock?
Go on all these trips. Man, yeah.
Here's the thing. We got to look up. I got to pull this up here. WWE Hall of Famers. And who else is going to be running for political office at the highest level in the years to come? WWE Hall. Oh, we got to go WrestleMania Hall of Fame.
Is this the list of this is the list of people that you're targeting? The WWE.
Well, we got The Rock. We got Donald Trump. Who's next? The Undertaker going to run?
Oh man. A lot of support there. Solid base, I think.
Mm-hmm. Isn't really much of a talker, but more of a take action kind of guy. Let's his actions speak for him.
Exactly.
Let's see here. Celebrity wing. Let's go there. Who's in here? So we got. Doesn't say who's in. Damn.
Great.
Oh, Bob Uecker's in the. What? Bob Uecker is the WWE class of was in the class of 2010.
Wow.
So anybody, Drew Carey,
all these people,
Mike Tyson,
they let anybody
Donald
in here.
Trump. There's Donald Trump, Mr. T,
Mr. T, man.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he ran for governor, close enough. Was governor.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg.
Oh,
easy.
I watched a video of him commentating a hockey game the other week.
Was that any good?
It was kind of funny. He clearly doesn't understand hockey because he's talking about hockey. He's like, as we approach the end of the second quarter. That ain't it. But
good. Here we go. Here, the 2018 celebrity inductee, and this will be a good one. You ready?
Yeah.
Kid Rock.
Oh my god, dude! People would actually vote for Kid Rock, though.
Oh yeah. Where's Ted Nugent? He's got to be in here somewhere, right?
Oh my god. Yeah, we just have to find a cross section of people that are like classic, like old classic rock stars, old wrestlers, and people that have been in the news lately that are from that group that have been talking about guns.
And they got people have got some thoughts about what's going on in this country.
I know, they got some real talk. Have you ever seen the Dave Chappelle skit on Ja Rule?
Yeah.
Where is
after
Ja?
Hurricane Katrina? What does Ja Rule have to say about this? And I don't even know who that is even, but
Where
was that the Katrina thing, or was that after
I think
or was that the OJ?
I think it was Katrina. Or it was either Katrina or 9/11 they were talking about.
Oh, yeah, maybe it was 9/11. Well,
And
whatever,
they were
doesn't matter. But
we have Ja Rule on the line to discuss. Ja? And, I don't want to hear from Ja Rule in a time like this. I don't need him. Where is Ja to make sense of things?
Shoot, I had something else I was going to say, but I don't remember. I've lost my train of thought.
Well, happens to the best of us.
Well, yeah.
Well,
that about wraps it up, huh?
I think so. I think it was pretty much it. That was the highlights of the week. That's what happened.
There we go. Yeah, well, it's been great. We've shared some laughs, cried, blood, sweat, and tears, and I think we've grown a lot. Speaking for myself in the last hour and 15 minutes, man, what a great podcast. And if you are loyal listeners and want to continue to support great programming like this, please feel free to, we encourage you to make a donation to the Patreon.
We'll put the link in the description below.
Absolutely. It's really, it really means a lot when we get very generous support from our loyal listeners. And so, from the bottom of my heart, Happy New Year to each and every one of you.
At the end of the day, it's for our day one fans out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we do it.
Since you folks do pay our salary, leave a comment below. Well, what you'd like to see in the next episode?
What's your favorite Sam and Connor moment?
Yes.
We'll release a best of 2018.
Well, yeah, we'll release the best of album.
Now that's Sam and Connor, 69.
Now that's what I call podcasting. A picture of Anakin Skywalker. I think that's the quote, right?
Yeah.
Now that's podcasting.
Fuck,
yeah.
dude.
Oh, it's Anakin Skywalker, but instead of the goggles, he has like headphones on and he has a microphone.
He's got a jewel in his mouth. Fuck. All right, okay. Let's end it there.
I wish I knew how to Photoshop.
If anybody's out there is a classically trained graphic designer, we're in need of some help.
Strictly classically trained.
Only classically trained. Yeah, we could use your help. But anyway, we'll see everybody next week.
Bye.